I'm Jean Newell with Pioneer Properties. Pioneer Properties is a real estate office, but we're a little bit more than that. We've got a lot of different things that we can help you with, or if you've got friends or family coming in, because real estate, as you know, this past year has been crazy. Buyers are looking to buy property. The sellers, the market has just been it's been crazy. How many of you, just a raise of hands, are more on the buyer side? Are you looking for property? Okay. And you're more interested in investing or selling, or you just came in to have lunch? Okay. It's all right, we're just. So here's what's probably been happening. If you've been out there looking and you've been putting in offers, any of you been putting in offers so far? And so many times there's so many offers that hit at the same time. Sellers have a lot of choices. And as we've noticed, unless you've just gotten started, that last year we thought, pandemic, everybody's either out of work or they're logged into their home, and it's going to be a terrible real estate market. We had record numbers last year, and it wasn't just Brevard County. Of course, it was around the United States. So because of the interest rates are so low and so many states were closed up, and luckily we're in a beautiful area that didn't have as many problems with the pandemic as some of the other states. We were still fairly open, as you all experienced. In fact, I went on one of the internet sites, and they had said Brevard County, they were congratulating us, this was last year, that our low amounts of people not getting the virus, and they were maintaining the mask and so forth, that our rates and so forth were lower than other counties, and they were saying, we were still in business. And I think that really helped us as well. Any of you really new to this area? Or you've been all here all the time? Good. Well, I have experienced a lot of the ups and downs in real estate. I moved here from South Florida in the 80s. And I usually don't tell people that, because by the time they sit there and start doing the math, 80, it's 40 years ago, she must be 150 years old. But I started when I was 8 years old. Okay, so real estate's really I've seen a lot of things, the ups and downs. Bottom line is, you have to have a game plan this year. This year is unlike any other real estate. If you are serious about buying, you've got to have some more arsenal in your bag of tricks to find homes. By the time a good priced home hits the market, everybody let me back up a second, we have 4,500 licensed agents for Brevard County, which is about 2,500 more than this county can support. So we've got a lot of people who have real estate license so they can see what's on MLS because they're investors. So by the time the average person who wants to buy a home looks at MLS, if it's been a good deal, or it's a good for a flip, or it's a good investment, it's been looked at by hundreds and hundreds of people. So it probably will never show up on MLS. Then we've got people putting in bids, and they're outbidding each other, but then come to find out they go for a loan and they can't get the loan because of the requirements on that mortgage. A lot of people don't realize that FHA, VA has certain restrictions. They send out an appraiser, and that the prices of the homes are going higher than the appraised homes that the appraisers are going to use from a few months ago. So appraisers go back, the way they appraise a home is they go back and see what is sold recently and make their evaluations on trying to find several homes that might be similar to the one that's getting the mortgage. And that's what an appraiser does. Now in real estate, we do something similar for people who want to sell. It's called a CMA. And a CMA is a certified market analysis. And I always say to people, the difference between a CMA that I do and our office does and an appraiser does for a mortgage company. Anybody have an idea what the difference is? $400. It's my little jokes. So yeah, we do the same thing as an appraiser basically. But here's the problem. Up until December, we were still working with sales from 3-4 months ago, and yes, they climbed some of them 8, 9, 10% last year. But come January, and New York and New Jersey and some of those bigger cities closed down, we got an influx of all these people wanting to not come to Florida, they wanted to escape to Florida, and they had cash in hand, and they were going in and bidding over, and when you have cash, you don't have to worry about appraisers. Some of these people even forego their inspection times. They just wanted the house, and of course our prices in Brevard County and in Florida in general are so much lower than the New York prices in New Jersey that even if they paid $10,000 or $20,000 over a price of a home, they didn't care. It was still less than what they sold their home for in New York. So we had a lot of different things happening at one time. So when it comes to buying, you have to have a game plan. And the game plan right now, and this is the way it's been, but it's more so than ever before, is we have to think real estate in reverse. Years ago, prior to our big real estate debacle, I call it, in 2006 and 5, you actually looked at property first. You went home and thought about it. You brought your Aunt Sally over to look at the house again. Then if you liked it, you put in an offer. It was accepted, and then you went to see if you could qualify to get the house. And because mortgage brokers and financial institutions back in that day, all they did was put a mirror under your nose, and if it fogged up, we got a mortgage. I mean, that's why we got in the situation we got. They were loaning mortgages for people who may or may not have been able to qualify. So we got through all that debacle in 2005 and 6. So now mortgages, you have to have a little bit more credit. You have to have a higher credit. You have to have a lot of other things in place. So the mortgage companies, although they're low interest rates, and it doesn't make sense to rent right now with the low interest rates, you have to jump through a few more hoops than you used to. So one of the things we do is backwards now. We don't show property first. Guess what we do first now? Go to the mortgage company, go to a financial institution, have them look at your finances and say, okay, you're great to go. Here is a pre-qualifying letter, which says they have looked at your financing, and based on what you've said to them, this is how much I make a year, and any other debts that you have, and also they pulled your credit. Based on that, I'm going to write you a letter with my mortgage company's letterhead, and now we're going to give that to the agent, because now they know what you can qualify for, and also most of the companies that list properties, they won't even let us show property unless you have that pre-qualifying letter. Because we want to know exactly when you're bidding for, if you're a seller and you've got 10 offers on the table, and you've got 9 of them that said, hey, I'm not only pre-qualified, here's my letter to show you, and you've got one that doesn't, that one goes in the trash right off the bat. So you've got to almost make yourself a desirable buyer. You've got to have everything lined up so a seller looks at your offer, even if it's less than other people, sometimes even the lower bid wins because of something. And that's something, I'll tell you, it's amazing how real estate changes over the years. We have to almost sell the sellers on our buyers. Sometimes we have to send them what we call love letters. And the buyer has to write a letter how much they love their home, and their children have already picked out the bedrooms. We have to pull at those heartstrings sometimes to the sellers, because we want our offer to outstand any other offers coming in. So all the things that we have to do now. So one of the nice things is we have something at Pioneer that we developed over the years, and we never thought we were going to use it for this purpose. Our broker, J.D. Van Gilder, has been, he has a lot of websites that people can land on to find out what their home is worth. We have one that's called Distressed Homes, and you can go on and find out for investors what houses are coming on the market that they can flip and so forth. So we've got all these people that are signing in wanting certain things. So this database has buyers in it looking for specific things. It has sellers in it looking for specific things. And over time, this database has now risen to 14,000 people. So we now have a special tool in our little kit that's not just MLS and Zillow and Trulia. We have our own database of things. So I've been talking to people out there, and some of them aren't, they're not interested for a couple months. We have people that are interested in selling in a couple months. So we've got that going for us. So now we've opened up some more opportunities, so we don't have that all the time when we're actually showing property. So that's a great thing. So I've got something a little interesting. Who, come up here, you're gonna be my